concept of thought, PEC. Can you explain what it is and provide an example? Peck. Yes. That. Yes. It's an idea I had because humans always operate in the following way. The first thing we do is think. A thought is triggered in us. Imagine, for example, that I have to give a presentation at a place that makes me somewhat nervous and creates a sense of insecurity. The first thing I say to myself is, I can't do it. I won't be able to. What if I don't do well? What will happen? So, that thought of I can't, I'm not capable, I'm not enough, others who have gone are much more experienced than me will automatically trigger a series of emotions that are always in tune with the thought. If I tell myself I can't do it, I will feel insecure, I will connect with fears, and I may become paralyzed. And those emotions are what will eventually lead to a certain behavior in that situation. I might end up getting stuck, I might leave it incomplete, I might not show up. Then, I will analyze that behavior and say, see? I told you so. I knew I couldn't do it. Look. So, when we have these kinds of ingrained beliefs, like I'm not important, I'm not worth it, I'm not capable, I'm not enough, I don't deserve, I'm not worthy, it leads us to accumulate experiences that confirm those beliefs, that show us it's true. Because in the end, the body always follows the brain's orders. If the brain says, where are you going? You're not capable, the body freezes. It becomes disabled and struggles more. So, it's about becoming aware of how we think, what we tell ourselves, to see if these beliefs are limiting and blocking us. And to change them if we realize they are not truly real, replacing them with positive ones. Because in the end, these beliefs, if we go through a personal growth process, we often realize that we learned them in childhood. They stem from experiences or messages we received, usually from our parents, either directly or indirectly, but the child internalized them. Is it difficult to transition from these negative thoughts, so to speak, to positive ones? It's not difficult. It just requires willpower and consistency, but the change can be made. For me, the key is mainly becoming aware of how we learned these beliefs so that we realize we are not defined by them, and we weren't born with these beliefs. And becoming aware that if we had been born into a different family, a different environment, with different parents and circumstances, our self-image would probably be different too. So, when you see that, you open up to the possibility that maybe it's not the case. When you start working with an affirmative belief, one that doesn't feel like you're trying to convince yourself of something that doesn't make sense to you, but rather one that you know is true because it's true for everyone, you start feeling differently and behaving differently. Your own experiences begin to show you that you are capable, that you can, and that you deserve it. Another topic that I'm very interested in regarding your work, and I believe you are a specialist in it, and in fact, you work on it a lot in your practice, is the issue of dependent relationships. What are dependent relationships, and how can we identify them? Yes. Well, what we call emotional dependence, which is what happens when we are in relationships marked by dependency, is I always define it as the inability to end a relationship when in all cases, we should. It's like an addiction we can have to a substance, but in this case, it's towards another person. It can be any type of person with whom we have a relationship. I typically work on it within the context of romantic relationships, and it's like the person who feels or has dependency, what they feel is, I see that this person is not the one I want by my side, that I'm not happy, that there are many aspects I don't like, but I can't end it. The idea of ending the relationship terrifies them. And in what cases should we all end relationships, so that we can identify them? Well, first, when there is no mutual love anymore. In other words, when you're with someone who no longer loves you. This can happen in two ways. It could be that the person comes to you and says, look, Agueda, I no longer love you, I don't want to be with you anymore, I want to end the relationship. In that case, if you have dependency, your reaction will be, no, please, please. You start begging. You may even denigrate yourself. Don't leave me. I'll change this. I'll do this other thing. I'll be more like what you want. You might even start compromising on things that go against your own values. So, you enter a dynamic of losing your dignity when in reality, the other person is telling you they don't love you anymore. There's nothing more to discuss, really. But you stay because of dependency, because you don't want to end it. Or it could also be that the person doesn't love you but doesn't tell you. These are very manipulative people who come and flatter you, saying, you're wonderful, I don't know what I would do without you, you're the most important thing you have. Blah, 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 that I have. But then, on the other hand, you see that they deceive you, hide things from you, behave in a way that shows through their actions that they don't love you. I always tell my patients. There's a phrase they know, which is cover your ears and look. When what they say doesn't match what they do, you should always focus on their actions, on what they are showing you through their behavior, because that's the truth. That's where reality lies. So, that would be a case when the other person no longer loves you. Another circumstance in which we should always end the relationship, but we don't when there's dependency, is when our personal self-realization is hindered. In other words, when I can't be myself, can't expand, can't grow, can't do the things I would like to do, be with the people I want to be with. I might give up my job, my projects, etc., and slowly lose myself. To make you like me, so you won't leave me, I start becoming what I think you want me to be.